Very ASMR. Ta-da!
It looks great, doesn't it?
Does it sound good? Okay, saving seed from sunflowers. Beautiful sunflowers are, you may be mistaken and think that one of these is a flower. Technically, botanically speaking, this is a composite flower. So this is like, it's part of the Asteraceae family, and there's actually hundreds or maybe even thousands of flowers within this. So you have the petals around the outside, which are known as the ray florets, and then the little petals with each fluffy bit here, each one of those is also a flower called a floret. So that's a disc floret. Now, at the base of each one of those flowers, a seed will form, and that's how you know it's its own individual flower, because it will create a seed. So these flowers are big and open, and they are pollinated by insects, which means they have a lot of room for cross-pollination. So if you're going to grow a variety of sunflower that you really want to keep genetically similar to the mother plant, you have to have, people say, about 800 meters to about a mile between your crops. So definitely within a garden, only grow one variety of sunflower if you want to keep and save seed from it and keep it that way. We have over the years realized that our sunflowers are now making these amazing multiple heads that are really big and also multiple. And actually, I think I much prefer that to a single giant head that ends up falling over. So I'm still going to save seed, because the way I see it is, yes, they may have cross-pollinated with some of the gardens nearby, but so far, for the last, 6 years or so that we've been saving seed from our sunflowers, they still look beautiful, and, they produce lovely big seeds that we can use for seed saving and for eating. So, to save seed from a sunflower, you're going to be up against it of a few pests. So depends on the area you're in, but rats can climb up the stalk of a sunflower and munch your sunflower heads, and squirrels really, really can. And so we had an attack of the squirrels this year. We had quite a few of ours half eaten, so you come back and they're kind of hanging off, and there's clumps of the seeds on the floor, which is quite heartbreaking. But we managed to get these ones off early while they're still green. I would have preferred to have left them on the plant a bit longer, but I picked them off early so they could mature in the kitchen. And you can even let them go a bit more brown like that, hang them somewhere in the kitchen, so the energy from the plant goes down and into the flower head and continues to ripen those seeds. The other thing you can do while they're still on the actual plant is put a bag over them, like a brown paper bag, or I like to use these net bags. Now, squirrels are not stupid, and it has happened to us whereby they've still got in and they just rip right through the net. And actually on this one, you can see there's a bit of squirrel damage already where the squirrels have come in and had a go. So while the plant, again, just to reiterate, while the flower is on the plant, you can just put one of those bags around. It will also stop the seeds from falling out onto the floor when they're really, really ripe. So they're good and useful to have. Bear in mind those squirrels can get in. So basically it's about keeping an eye on your sunflower heads day in, day out. Some years the squirrels do not touch them. Other years they massacre them. So it's really up to you to kind of get to know your garden and see what's going to happen that year. And it's really, really simple. If you've got the distance, or if not, and you don't care about cross-pollination, it's really, really simple to save seed from sunflowers. You simply just rub them out. So this layer on top, all of these ray florets around the edge and the disc florets in the middle, those little disc florets have to come off. And then on the inside, you just pop out the seeds and you collect those. Now, if the seeds are soft, like that one's quite soft, it means it's hollow and it's not viable. It's not going to create a good and viable seed. Whereas some of the other ones, like a Phil, that's a lovely, firm, hard sunflower, will create a good and viable seed. Squish them. If they're hard and solid, they're probably viable. And you want to let them then dry out. Ideally, this sunflower head would be a bit drier before I start trying to save seed from it. So if you can allow them somewhere warm and away from squirrels and rats and mice to dry out thoroughly, and then pop them out of their little seed casings, that would be ideal. It would also mean they come out easier. So try and get them fully ripe before, and fully dry. That means that once they're fully dry, if you put them in a jar, they're not going to go moldy. So if you do have to harvest them at this stage and you want to get them out of their seed heads, you've got to dry them out on a plate or a bit of newspaper somewhere before you stick them in a jar. Then you just simply stick them in a jar, label and date what they are, and then you've got seed ready for next year. Okay, good to go.